Hello there, Alan speaking here, formerly known as PlasteredFingers, and this is my Tomb Raider random stories for the first one, on the PlayStation that is. I never actually played it for the PC, which I do know it's the superior version, but yeah. And I've recently had to purchase it again in the PlayStation Store, as the disc doesn't seem to run on the PlayStation 3. Kinda like Tomb Raider 2, it just didn't load. Lately a few people have been telling me that it works on theirs, so I'm not too sure if it's my PlayStation or not. So anyway, yeah, I had to buy it again after owning multiple copies. But yeah, you start the game with Natla telling you about the skium that she wants you to go after. Now let me just tell you, this is not a review, this is just me talking about the game, my personal experiences, things I noticed along the way. Because as you've probably seen in some of my other videos, I'm not that good at reviewing. Anyway, back onto it. You see here, you see the start menu, the music sounds good, you're instantly greeted with a passport. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Lara's home, which is like a tutorial stage. You never actually get to go outside of Lara's home, even though you see it here. But isn't that what made Lara great? I mean, how personal it was that you went to her home and she spoke to you and taught you how to play the game. You know, I mean, I had to get used to these controls pretty fast. I was playing on the Sega Mega Drive, then to the Sony PlayStation controller, playing games like Lion King, Super Mario, Mortal Kombat, you know. I was playing a lot of 2D games, you know, even Sonic the Hedgehog, which were classics even today, but getting used to a 3D game, which this happened to be my first 3D game, was so hard. I mean, this was such a help. Lara telling you how to play it, how to jump. You couldn't play the piano, what a shame, but hey, you could do most of the things on this. I mean, the little comment about the delivery people not picking up these crates, but only there for you to climb on and learn how to climb up stuff. The little gym was great for practicing and Lara telling you off if you ran about too much. And who didn't get that sense of achievement when you finally made that long jump after so much trying and Lara praising you for it? I mean, I thought that was a great idea. It only made you want to get better at the game. That's why I found the game to be on more of a personal level. It wasn't a 2D shooter or hack and slash game. You were controlling a fluent character. The controls are so fluent. Even to this day I find them good. Even though a lot of people say they're stiff, I still like them to this day. They're perfect for me. Now on to the initial story. And did anyone ever think this guy kind of looks like Peter Andre slightly? He gets killed by some wolves. Lara kind of saves the day, but well, she comes down and kills all of the wolves. I guess they can't attack her afterwards. And anyway, you're left in this cave with the doors shutting behind you, telling you that you're alone and you're going to have to do all of this yourself. And instantly I remember looking down to notice these wolf footprints on the floor, thinking, oh no, is there going to be more? And just, yeah, Lara looking around, and instantly you notice the exploring and things you had to do. It took me about 20 minutes just to get up here. I remember finally jumping backwards and then jumping onto it, only to find a small medical kit behind it. But it was great. I mean, you know, that exploring that you went into and then finding your first enemy, which happened to be some small little bats. But at least you got to try out your pistols. And I wasn't too used to the actual 3D element of the game. I mean, I actually thought I went through this fence by rolling. I thought, let me press the roll button. Oh, I'm through. But actually I was in the same room. I just didn't realise what this room looked like until I turned left and noticed the door. Great. And I finally meet up with the wolves. I remember trying to shoot them from afar and pressing the roll button and rolling down there, and I ended up having to face them, and they took a lot of health. I remember that, being terrified of shooting them. As a kid they scared the hell out of me. And does anyone remember this little statue and how it used to follow your movements when you looked? And who can forget the first time they came across a save crystal thinking it was an item? And this big bear. I remember first finding this and thinking, I ain't going to be able to kill this. Eat bullets, bear. Didn't take too long. And then noticing these floor tiles were crumbling, I panicked and went to walk back, only to find I ended up on the ground before it broke. Something I discovered, maybe. And then walking through this door, only to think that, wow, such nice scenery. and then get jumped by a load of wolves. I remember this thinking, oh no, just after fighting 2 and now your brothers and sisters are after me. I got killed on that bit actually. And the Lost Valley, I remember this just for so many reasons. Diving into the water was always great back then. And then from bats to wolves to bears and now velociraptors, I think that's what they are anyway. I remember thinking, what the hell? Dinosaurs now? Oh well, as long as they ain't too big, I guess. I remember running through noticing, hold on a second, big footprints. I actually did run like that, but only felt great after taking such a big beast down. It was brilliant. I then started to notice, along with the action, there was a lot of puzzle solving, which initially is fine, but at the time I weren't that good at doing anything to do with puzzles. I found it quite hard. I mean, you couldn't just run and gun, you couldn't just run about and do what you wanted. You had to use patience, timing, and you had to think. And you know, a switch you would open somewhere would open a door somewhere else, so you really had to use your brain to play this game. I ended up loving that aspect of it. You again. I still remember when you found your first part of the ski-on, you know, and then mummies in the room that were following you around with its face. I think it was only one of them. I wanted to kill it and I noticed you couldn't. You could shoot bullets, it didn't do anything. You take it and then everything starts falling down, and I thought you best rush out of here. But first let me shoot at him one last time. Haha, I knew I'd get you in the end. Anyway, you rush out of here only to find your good friend Larson shooting at you. So you have a little shooting session with him, take him down, which was always fun. He tells you that Natla put Pierre Du Pont on the trail to find the other pieces, so you know Natla doesn't trust you. Anyway, you give him a kick in the head and off you search for the rest of it. And it's Pierre Du Pont. You come across him, and I used to find it quite funny because I knew someone that looked like him, a teacher in my school, and I could never stop laughing when I was shooting millions of bullets into him only for him to live and just disappear when he turned a corner. I then began to notice that the scenery in this game was out of this world. I felt so alone all of the time. You know, the hand of Midas, I remember stepping on it, being shocked that I was turned into gold. Being turned into gold as a death, that was great. And I also remember reflecting when this music played. Such a nice song, only for some of the worst and hardest parts of this game for me. This section of jumps, I remember this took me forever. I kept getting set on fire. I think it's probably the hardest part in the game for me, now I look back at it. It wasn't so hard this time round because I recently completed it again, and it wasn't so hard this time round, I thought. But yeah, I remember this level taking me 6 weeks to complete. I used to play this with my dad, so we was both sitting there baffled. I just couldn't think of how to do it. I even had a bad dream about it. And who can forget when they came across these skinless mummies, the first time hearing them shriek as they jumped past you. They were scary. You then meet Natla and her cronies and they take their guns off you, this cowboy dude. And it's brings you to one of the most craziest parts of Tomb Raider, Natla's mines, where almost half the levels you getting your guns back. Oh look, a crumbling floor. Step back, I'm already there. But yeah, you do a load of stuff just to get your pistols back to take on the guys that took your weapons and stole your items. I had lots of medical packs at this point anyway. I'll show you personal. Have some magnums to the face. The joke's on you, I completed this game and got unlimited ammo, mate. And I remember this point of the game, I had no medipacks left. It was horrible. It took me so long to finally complete this level full of mummies and flying demons shooting flesh at you. It was horrible. It was a nightmare for me. And then you're greeted with Natla, who tells you her plans. You try and stop her, but she just jumps in front of you. You think she killed herself, but yeah, she doesn't. Hearing the countdown going on in the background, I remember being terrified, thinking, what's coming out of this? What is there gonna be? And I remember being so scared. I actually did this. I jumped off. I didn't actually dive at the time, but I jumped off to my death. I was that scared of it back then. I hadn't seen nothing like it. After you defeat it, it blows up into millions of pieces. You've completed the game. on an epic adventure, I must say. I mean, I played this recently again and found it to be a lot easier than I remembered. Possibly because it was the first 3D game I played, and I've played the rest of them and I've gotten used to the controls and the game itself. But I must say, Tomb Raider has always been brilliant, and it always will be. And to this day I play them, you know, I enjoy them and enjoy making these videos about them. You know, it'll forever be special to me. And I'm happy there's a reboot, to be honest. I'm happy that the franchise is going to be alive for longer. You know, I just hope they get it right. And if you haven't played Tomb Raider 1 before, please, I suggest you try it out. Because if you're a Tomb Raider fan or just would like an epic adventure, try this game. You'll enjoy it for definite. Goodbye.
Now I'd better take off these wet clothes.